What is going on, guys? Today we're looking at all of the strikers in FC24 and finding out which ones are the best for you. We've got a good list to go through. Let's just get straight into it. So we're going to start roughly in the middle or a little bit lower. One of my favourites in terms of A, the fact that he's upgradable, but B, a decent striker nonetheless, is going to be Nunes. Now, in terms of the body build, the pace, the shooting, the physicality, he's got absolutely everything you need. And we knew this from the start of the game. Like, the gold card was already so... Not even necessarily meta, because it's all about kind of how good his actual ability is in the game, and it was exceptional from the get-go. So we knew full well, as soon as we were getting upgrades for him, that was going to be a card that could be on the market. Unfortunately, it has come in the version of a Road to the Final, which are incredibly expensive, especially when you look at this man being 1.2 million. That is absolutely nuts. I want to know how much Nunes is actually coming in as. But in terms of kind of the value of him, that is kind of what outweighs it. 2.4 million. Like, at least I would rather pay 2.4 for him than 1.2 for Lukaku. I'd say Nunes is definitely in the S tier, whereas I think Lukaku, to be honest, is an A tier at absolute best. Again, shooting wise, you could pick the whole list. The whole list could get you a goal. I'm not saying that none of these are inherently bad strikers, but there is better than the rest. That's just natural when it comes to any position. So it isn't necessarily saying just because he's in a B plus or an A plus that they are useless. It is just they don't compare to your R9s, your Hams. They are two of the best strikers in the game for a reason. There's a reason why they are both above 11, 12 million coins each. That just kind of tells you, really. I don't think it has to be a big song and dance. Benzema, I definitely come down a peg or two now, and to be honest, I feel like all of them. Where is Mr. Kane as well? You could argue with Kane one above, but I think right now, personally, from my opinion with him, is he just isn't the striker that I want. And naturally, there's some people that can really work with him. When it comes to the taller, more bulkier strikers, maybe, yes, you've got Osimhen with a bit more pace, but lacks just that actual finish in him, the kind of dribbling style. It isn't how I personally play, and definitely now they could do with the upgrade. They could do with the double play style pluses. That is the sort of roadmap that EA have handed out for us. I feel like they definitely need to get down that sort of road now, and we've seen it already. We've obviously got some nice upgrades from obviously the Fantasy Foot and then also the Fantasy Foot Heroes as well. There is some insane upgrades that are just a nice extra bonus. They may only be a +1 or +2, but the fact that they have got that upgrade, for instance, someone like a Griezmann, price-wise maybe not as much, but most definitely a better striker for it.
If your team's looking like this, then I have the place for you. Head over to U7Buy for all your coin needs. They're cheap, fast, and reliable, but make sure to use JT11 at the checkout for 6% off all of your coin orders.
And to be honest, I'd say the same for Lewandowski as well. When it comes to actual finishing, there's nothing wrong with them. They are genuinely very good strikers, but I think when it comes to an all-round striker, they just don't have personally what I favour for it. Then we have the likes of Lacazette. Again, I actually think he's probably in that sort of category as well. He is the bench player, I think, at the moment for the Fantasy Foot. He has got himself potential upgrades going in. Power Shot Plus, first time touch as well, which is always nice for the playstyle pluses anyway. But I don't think he's necessarily a go-to winner. Immobile, I'd probably put down at bottom. And to be honest, I did see good old Bobby. Again, it's just not quite enough. Aspas, I'd go one above, purely on how good Aspas can be in terms of finishing, but when it comes to overall play, like the rest of them, he just doesn't have that finish. You could, to be honest, you probably could argue lower. I think that's been very generous to him. He has only got the one playstyle plus as well, which is incisive pass. At the very minimum, at least a lot of these have got power shot or something useful. So, and I believe he is injured as well. Quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure Aspas is injured, so he already misses out on potential upgrades already. So that is a big L for the card. I'm going to look at Danny Welbeck. Again, kind of one of them cards. He's more of a nostalgic vibe, more so than anybody that's going to go in your team. I don't think the price was incredibly bad for him. I think it was relatively fine. 65,000, the Rapid Plus. I mean, it's definitely not the worst you could have gone. Then we have the likes of Aubameyang. I would go one above for him. I think he's an absolute specimen of a striker going forward. I love this version of him as well. Just get rid of that player of the month out of my mind, because he's about, what was about 80k, I believe, and the player of the month was like 170. Easy radioactive if you did go for him, but both versions are just as good as each other, really. They both give you that same output. Same as Kolo Muani. They're kind of just that step up from Lewandowski, Kane, the kind of older generation of strikers in my eyes anyway. Courtois, more of a gimmick, to be honest, and I don't know if I've got him in here somewhere. Oh, I thought... Oh, did I? Oh, I thought I did. I thought I had Casemiro somewhere, but he must have... Oh, no, there he is. I was going to say, he was very similar as well. It's kind of just more of a gimmick of a card. I don't think anybody really has taken him that seriously. Unless you are building, obviously, a team around a Man U team or Brazilian. It kind of works. Then we move on. We've got so many top-end players that I don't want to just rush them all in at once. I feel like Sonny Baby's more of an S category as well. He is most definitely on the verge of being the top, but he needs that extra push to get him in there. It's always the same. He kind of has to wait till team of the season until he eventually gets into the absolute best tier you can. Felix... Oh, I'm a big fan of Felix. I think body type for Felix is absolutely perfect. Kind of more wind based, which is fair enough for him, but body type on him, the left stick is beautiful. Once he gets the upgrades, he obviously gets a bit more on the shooting and dribbling as well, which is just even more better. I'm actually going to go in the S for him. I think he genuinely is one of them strikers that can do it. Same with Rashford. I don't think he's quite S+. That's kind of just... At the minute, the S Plus is like reserved for your Mbappes, your obvious, your Messis. They are kind of the top of the top, whereas I feel like Rashford's just that one step under. And I would say I have seen him. Eto'o probably now is going one step under as well. When we look at these top-end strikers, they are all massively upgrades now. Whereas when you look at the team of the years, you look at Haaland, you look at obviously Smith, they offer so much with a card, with the overall feel of it. The double play star plus may not be absolute number one targets, but they normally are pretty good. One card that I'm exceptionally happy for, Højlund. Very good card. I loved his dynasties. I thought that was probably around the A tier now, being an 87. This has just bumped him straight back up a little bit. Same as Moi Coco as well. What a partnership these two can have in terms of actual strikers from future stars. Brilliant cards. I was a big fan. João Pedro. Oh, I do like this card, and it is a shame. He's kind of had that really good run, but I'd say now, especially with what we've got, no playstyle pluses on him. It's come from a silver. Phenomenal upgrade. Really good upgrade from him. But he now, unfortunately, is at the point where he needs an upgrade again. If he doesn't get an evolution for a playstyle plus, then unfortunately he will dwindle away a little bit more. Nene... I'd probably go S plus with Nene as well. In terms of the striker version, everybody wants it. And it is a shame that we don't get no more player of the months. Whether we eventually see the Saudi player of the month, and if Neymar and Ronaldo and all of them are still actually there, this could be the final year that we ever see an SBC of Neymar other than kind of your moments and your flashback. Sanchez, I'd probably put in more the low tier now. Same with Dybala. Even Martinez, to be honest, that version, has he not got a higher version? No, he does. Why on earth am I using this version? He has a 91. Give me 1 second. I was going to say, I genuinely thought he had a better card, which he definitely does. That card most definitely is a little bit more up on the kind of ranking. Yes, he has got the chance of going up, which we can't really focus on too much because it's if, buts and maybes, whereas the 91 definitely puts himself back in the running a little bit. Whether I think he's kind of higher than what he should be, he's got the technical plus, the flair plus. I mean, it doesn't help massively. I'm going to be brutal with him. I'm going to keep him there. Villali, I'll go 1 as well. I feel like he kind of could be up there, really. I don't think any more or any less. Then we obviously have some decent players, to be honest. Barnes, I'd go A. Butra, purely on the factor of Butra now kind of being in that same level as Eto'o. If you was looking at the 91 Butra, the left wing, I'd probably go more into the S, maybe even slightly going into the A+, depending on wingers. Cantona, I'd probably go A+ as well. I don't think he necessarily fits that mould. Dalglish still goes in there. You've obviously got Drogba. Oh, Di Natale. I haven't seen any rumours yet. We've been getting the leaks for the second set of Fantasy Foot, but Di Natale's name is yet to be mentioned. We've seen Lucio be mentioned, Bompasta and Schneider. I am praying that Di Natale gets something because he is just begging for an upgrade. He is an 88 rated guy and he's still 236,000 for a base hero. That is absolutely nuts. Then if we've got any new cards, I'd go Alex Morgan in S. Sala, I'd probably just stick to S as well. I don't know if I'd quite go S plus for him. I think he's given a roundabouts there. And Kunku's definitely up there. CR7, did I not have... Now it makes more sense. I was thinking, why on earth is Ronaldo not in here? I have every team of the year. The last time I must have done this was before the 12th man and 12th woman. So Pop and Ronaldo weren't technically in it. I'd probably just still go both of them at the top tier. The Winter Wildcard, you could argue definitely on the S+, but I think at the minimum is still an S easy. Pele's obviously going to go to the top. We then look at Eusebio. Well, I mean, you can't turn Eusebio and Pele down, can you? Them two are going to be absolute clear. Cruyff's going to be up there as well. We have got some new cards in here as well, which I'm trying not to go with the new pricing because... If we look at it, Tevez is coming in at 4.5. You've got Griezmann still coming in at, I think he was 5.2. Wow. But then you have Voller at 300. I still can't quite get my head around why he's so cheap. Like, I genuinely said this in the... What was it? Was it in the Tevez... There was a ranking review or something. And I'm like, he is a very good striker. Like, he is easily S tier. Tevez, I'd probably go one up. Griezmann, I'd keep one down. Werner, I'd go into the S. But in terms of pricing, that is absolutely outstanding. The fact that he's only 300 for that type of card as well, I just don't quite understand. Especially as he's upgradable as well. I mean, it's not necessarily a big kind of secret that he's going to be upgradable. Whether they did lose the first match, that is something that I need to look at. Jesus can go in the S quite easily. Solanke... I mean, I'd probably just go B, to be honest. Alvarez is easy an A+, dying for an upgrade. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a fantasy, but I can imagine they'll probably leave him for Foot birthday now. Now we've got Grealish, we've got Tevez, we've got Company. I can't see them doing another Man City just because that would make 4 in a promo that is an upgraded promo based on team performance. I reckon they'll probably leave him for like a 5.5 Alvarez. A 93-94 as a team seller, that could definitely work. Milito, you could just go bottom tier quite easily. Torres, oh, now we've got a few different ones. And we've got Xerxes. I mean, I'll put him at a very lenient A+. We've got Smith. Oh, see, a lot of these are top end, to be honest. If I think S, I'm thinking Henry's got to go up there. Torres, no. Zola, no. Raul, no. Gerd Muller, potential. No, if I've got to debate it, then you gotta go with the S. Crespo, I mean, is probably A+. He was okay, nothing crazy. The crazy thing is, I think everybody else goes into this S tier because literally all of them are brilliant in their own way. They've had the upgrades, they've got different playstyle pluses. Some of them you could argue, Puskás you could really argue. I feel like with Puskás, I'm so used to that Foot birthday icon where he really got that 5.5 down. We've only got a 4.3. I'm just feeling against it. So that is going to be my list. Hopefully you did enjoy. And let me know your thoughts on there.